Welcome everybody to the August Cal Hort meeting. Plant Forum. Most of these are from July. Okay, Daisy.
All right, this is caper bush, Caparis spinosa. I haven't really noticed spines, but apparently there are spines on the plant. It's extremely drought tolerant. It takes full sun, but I was surprised it seems to like some shade as well. I have two well-established plants now, and the bigger one, the older one, is getting shade starting around 11, I think, maybe 12, and is very happy.
This was from July. Does it look the same as nice?
Yes, it's still blooming, not quite as prolifically, but it's still blooming.
Are you pickling the seed pods?
I haven't tried that yet, but I should. It probably
capers.
isn't that hard, but I have a plant at home, but it's kind of an undersized plant still. So I'd rather see flowers, because you pickle the flower buds.
Oh no, I do
That's
the
why you
seed
need
pods,
two.
but not the flower buds. Yeah.
Some people do pickle the seed pods, but I don't find it tasty. I don't care for it as much.
Does yours produce seed pods?
Oh yeah, it does. Lots.
Could you please submit them to the seed exchange?
Sure.
Love to try growing our own.
Yeah, they're not too hard, but they're slow.
Yeah. Are yours planted from seed, Daisy?
Originally, I think mine came from Carmen's nursery, Nancy Schramm's nursery. Mm-hmm. And I used to get it from her dad, Ed, but I would have very poor success getting it to survive. And it's because when it's young, it dislikes cold weather. So the first winter is kind of vital, at least in Sacramento or the valley, to protect it from the cold initially. But now that it's established, I mean, it's been planted for a good 8-10 years. There's no problem. It does go deciduous in the winter.
Okay.
So yeah, and we're lucky we have sources to acquire it if you don't want to propagate it yourself.
Right.
So, okay, I have sunflowers. When I was a budding gardener, I thought, I want certain plants that are rare and unusual. And I was, trying to be snooty about gardening, I guess, and only get things that are rare. And then about 10 years ago, I discovered I really want to attract or support pollinators. And so I became a little more like welcoming to sunflowers, for instance, because they are fabulous if you want to, provide nectar and pollen for them. So to the left you can see the far left, there is a bee sitting on the disc. And the sunflowers is in the aster family, used to be called the composite family, and it's because it's made of many flowers. The central part of the flower is actually many flowers, and so I think that bee is actually a sunflower bee, which is kind of interesting. But sunflowers are a North American and Mexican native, and so you would think that there would be a bee that specializes in pollinating it. So the second lower picture is you can see those little yellow spots. Actually, if it didn't quite turn out, but they look like little stars, and it's a good illustration of it being in the composite family or aster family. And so all those little flowers, if they get pollinated, turn into seeds. And so the right hand picture is where the seed is forming, and it doesn't take long, like a matter of, that's probably like 4 days from the one on the far left. And it has the most interesting pattern. If you look at the seeds, it's in the pattern of the Fibonacci sequence, which is some way for the plant to maximize seed formation. And pine cones do the same thing. They kind of pack it in that pattern. To the right is my garden, so you can see lots of sunflowers. And I grow a lot of plants for a garden club plant sale, and instead of using shade cloth this year, I'm using sunflowers for shade.
Great collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Now we have such sunshiny things there.
So my plant is the larger, or the larger
right.
flower to the right, and I am not sure what the name is. So if anyone would know, it has little spines on it, and I didn't find it fragrant at all.
I saw Janet here too, who has the other one there.
Oh,
Are you there, Janet?
I am here. Yeah.
yeah.
Hello.
Sorry, I was a little late, but I'm here.
The leaves look different to me. Like her, Janet's has a thinner leaf, and mine, it's just a little broader looking.
I've got a couple of night blooming jasmines, and one of them is the one on the left. Which I think is what did I put that genus of species in? It was so long ago I sent it in.
I believe so.
Okay.
That's where I got it.
I got the original cuttings from a garden in San Diego probably 30 years ago. And it's been growing in that pot. I've got it on a plant stand, and it hangs down probably 4 or 5 feet. And the original plant I got it from was growing over a trellis in a garden in San Diego. So it can grow.
Night blooming.
Yeah, and it's night blooming. And that one is not very fragrant either.
Oh.
But I also have a queen of the night, which is an epiphyllum, or is it a Sirius? I think it is a Sirius. It has the more paddle shaped leaves, like the epiphyllums do, and it is fragrant. So
they're bloom on one night, right?
Yeah, they all although one last fall, the queen of the night actually lasted for a couple of days. It's the first time it's ever done that, and it probably had 20 flowers on it.
Wow.
It was quite, and I think it bloomed 2 or 3 times last year. I repotted it this year, and it's bloomed once, and it had maybe half a dozen flowers on it. But repotting things take a little while to get established.
And is the queen of the night fragrant?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And Daisy, does yours bloom at night as well?
Yeah. Yes, it's night blooming, and it only, I think, lasted 1 day.
Yeah,
So
the one on the left only lasts one night also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one night. That's why when I saw it, I was hunting for slugs, and I thought I better take a picture while it's in bloom, because who knows what it would look like the next morning. So I took the picture with my flashlight, lit with the flashlight.
Do the slugs eat the foliage or the?
No, but I grow a lot of seedlings, so
Oh, you were out looking for slugs.
I was out looking, not on this plant though.
Okay.
So yours is outside in the garden?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, The original plant I got of the Queen of the Night was from somebody who lived in East San Jose, and she grew it out in the garden there. I think it's a little too cold in Campbell.
Oh,
My neighbor has a Queen of the Night. She invites me up every time it blooms.
Yeah, but you're near the water, so you're a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit milder than I am too. So
And I'm not sure if Ben is with us tonight. He had submitted this last month. He was, I guess he has problems growing the rhododendrons in his heavy clay, and this particular one is in a pot and is evidently quite happy that it's actually blooming. Noyo Dream is a small growing rhodie growing 3 feet tall in 10 years, so it's not very big or fast growing.
Wow.
Has light pink flowers, darker pink picotee, creates a very attractive quality, not fragrant, and then it blooms early. I don't know, this was in July. Is that early? That seems late to me.
yeah.
I usually think of April, May probably May. And he's has some height in where he grows, so it probably gets a little bit cold at night too.
Yeah, where he is pretty similar to my climate.
Oh, okay.
Where we get very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter. So.
Heather.
Goodness, I forgot that I passed these in. So the picture on the left was just a hollyhock, and we think that we've figured it out. It was perhaps just seeds that were planted very close, but each one of the spires were all different color flowers, as you can see. So it was just really interesting. At first glance, it was like, whoa, this one plant.
Rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow plant. How do we get some of those? And then this little plant on the right, I have just never seen that. It was growing in Oakland, pretty close to Piedmont Ave, and very cute, very fun. It was in full sun. Yeah, around 10 inches tall, compact. The whole garden looked very drought resistant, not a lot of water was needed. But I had just never seen this plant before and thought I'd pass it in.
Anybody familiar with this? No.
Can always come back to it if someone thinks of something later on, but
Okay. Mystery plant. We'll have to investigate a little further and report back in October.
Yes, these also. So, right, this was a month ago. Just went on a little trip up to the Shasta Trinity Forest at this cabin. This is sort of just to show like where we were in this forest. It was obviously decimated from a massive fire that was there, I believe, 2020. So everything was completely scorched, but down in that little crevice to the left of that cabin was a stream. And in the next photos, we'll see all of these plants that were, everything was just in bloom and so lush.
What's the little carpet of lavender there?
Yes, and this bottom right photo was just also like in the middle of nothing. I mean, decimated all around it. And then it was just this splash of purple. And I think in the next slide, there's some closer photos to give some more detail on them. All right, so this is in that little wet area. It was just such a treat. It was, you're walking through all this dead and everything's cracking and branches are falling and trees are scorched. And then you find this little pocket of water and everything is just exploding and the butterflies and bees. And it was just seemed quite magical.
Yeah. Beautiful.
yes.
Mhm. Very pretty.
Yeah, this is just the close-up of that wonderful little field.
Wow.
Yeah, that looks like downingia with me, which is a vernal pool plant.
Very well could have been. It was in this little depression, as you can sort of see.
Yeah, Bart had mentioned that it starts underwater and starts growing, and then as the water recedes, it comes up to get in bloom.
Interesting. Well, it's beautiful.
Such amazing color.
Yes.
Okay, don't think Mark is here tonight. I think he had something else going on. So he's evidently just planted this one, which he really likes, and it's Salvia crossed with jamensis, Nachtvlinder from Annie's. Use the pronunciation. Flowers June to frost, so it's a long bloomer, 2 feet tall and 2 feet wide. So if you're looking for this one, it's at Annie's. Pretty color. Anybody grow this one? Oh, hopping back to you, Heather. Sorry, those got mixed up.
That's okay. Yeah, this was just pretty funky. this was in a client's yard, and it's definitely some sort of fungus.
Wait a
And no,
minute,
this is-
Heather, you took my class. You should know what this is.
Oh, no.
Gotcha,
Busted.
gotcha.
Oh, well, in that case, I don't have to go through my 52 pages of notes from that class, but
Now, these are slime molds, so they're not true fungi. They're actually more primitive than fungi.
and they're very benign, aren't they? I mean, they really
Oh,
are.
they're just
Totally.
decaying, organic matter in the
Right.
stuff.
What
leave
sort
them
of
alone.
tripped us up is when looking on that left one, that's the top side of it, and the right one is the underside, because we couldn't flip it over. But there was all of these little tiny bugs, almost like the size of fleas that were running all amok in the top of that white, fuzzy part of the mold. It was just really interesting. It's like they had created their own little environment in there.
Interesting.
Okay, slime mold it is. I'll write that one down and not forget it.
Yeah, right. Okay, then I'm not sure if Bobby is here tonight, and maybe we should save this for next time since we're already late on this one. So we'll save these for October. And these are mine. I've had this Kniphofia for a couple of years. They were really cute, and obviously my mango's doing well. My papaya is not doing so well. Can't remember which one's which. And they're just dwarf Kniphophias, and I'm just enjoying them. They haven't bloomed as well as they bloomed this year for some reason. I think they said something about they evidently need moisture when their buds are forming, and I'm not so great with the water, so that may be why I haven't had success in the past. And in a container, it's hard to keep more of a even water amount of moisture in the container. These all have faded, and I've got another crop coming up, so I was really pleased with that. But this is a series from Terra Nova Nurseries. I'll just think they're cute. And then my Eucomis blooms every year, and it's just spectacular every year. They come up with these deep, dark maroon foliage. They fade a little bit to green as they are right now. And then they have this little pineapple top. I think they call them pineapple lilies, on the top there. And this one's also in a container. And I divided that a couple of years ago and really like those. They go totally dormant in the wintertime. And now we're starting this month's stuff in bloom. So Charlotte?
Well, I found this yesterday, the Tigridia. They pop up and then they disappear, and they pop up and then they disappear. So, and then the Aechmea gamosepala, I think, was one of the first bromeliads I ever had that a friend gave me.
Mine stopped blooming. When do you how you get them to bloom?
It's just sitting there, and I thought, oh, look at it, it's got flowers on it. So, just they bloom when they want to, I guess.
And then do you have different colors of the Tigridias?
No, I just have the kind of orangey red one.
That's spectacular.
And these are cuttings I got from former and regular members. The Lonicera periclymenum came from Marjorie Harris, who used to live down the street from me. And I suppose some of you have visited her garden back in the day. She's in Southern California now, so I hope everything's okay at her place. And Fuchsia baby Chang I got from Marcia Donahue. It's really taking off now. So
Looks tiny. How big is the bush?
the flowers are tiny. They're maybe an inch or so.
And how big is the bush?
It's kind of loose at the moment, so maybe 1.5 feet.
Okay, so kind of tiny. And is your Lonicera fragrant? I think that one is, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah.
Beautiful.
I know that one's a little past its prime, but
Oh, you know what? These are Kristens. I'm sorry. I didn't quite get finished with this. I didn't realize that. Anyway, so she has this hibiscus laziocarpus, which is right here, and evidently it's grows in white, pink, and red. I'm not sure what everyone knows. She's has a lot of in the mallow family, plants in the mallow family, and that's what she kind of specializes in. And then she's practicing tip pruning with the Acacia bravissima. I'm not sure if it's starting to die back or what's going on there. We'll keep those for next month. Our meeting next month again is not on the third Monday, Tuesday the 26th. at Lake Merritt. Okay, thanks.